Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now, here's your host, Michael Sirigliano.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Sirigliano. Now, I wanted to start today's episode with a quote that I heard that I thought was absolutely perfect for the theme of today's episode. And the quote goes like this: God's timing and your timing are different. Anything significant that God is going to do in your life will take longer than you want, but it'll be better than you can ever imagine. Now, with that being said, that quote, what it made me think about was the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of work that it takes to chase your dreams, chase your goals. Because a lot of people, they have dreams and aspirations, whether it be financial, physical, or relationship driven. Everybody has some type of goal, some type of dream. And the common theme that I see with the majority of people chasing dreams or their own endeavors is the fact that they don't see the results that they want immediately. And then after a month, maybe 2 months, they give up. They stop pursuing the dream, they stop pursuing the goal because they're not seeing the success that they would like to see. They're not getting that instant gratification that we all love so much. And what you have to realize when you're chasing your dreams, when you're chasing your goals, is that it does take time. No matter what it is that you're doing, it's always going to take more time than you've anticipated, because you see these quote unquote overnight successes and you think to yourself, well, why can't that be me? And I definitely can understand with that sentiment, because that's how I thought going into this, going into pretty much everything that I've done, is I'm going to be the overnight success. But the reality of the matter is the overnight success is rarely an overnight success. Most overnight successes are 5, 10, 15 years in the making that nobody sees because they're not successful yet. So what people see is just the end result, and you can't focus on the end result, because you need to understand that the amount of work that's going to go into that goal it's going to take longer than you think. So when you're trying to open a business or get a business going and grow a business, you can't think, oh, in a month we're going to be, this humongous successful business. You have to give it years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. Same with fitness. People go in the gym and they think, oh, well, if I work out every day for a month, not even that. People just go in and think, if I work out every day or 5 days a week, I'm going to get the body that I want, without realizing that, along with diet as well, which is a huge factor in that, it's going to take months and months before you see a real result. And that's what hinders people from continuing their pursuit of their goals, because they don't see the results immediately. So they think, oh, well, I just must not be cut out for this. I must not be good at this. And there's so many untapped potentials out there because they don't have the patience. They don't pursue their dreams, and they're not steadfast in it. They think that they should just become successful strictly because they want to be successful, and that's extremely unrealistic, but that's extremely selfish as well. Why would you be able to succeed in something when someone else has put 5, 10 years into it? They can't. You won't. You need to be going harder. You need to be doing more. You need to understand that, though the end result isn't going to happen next week, the end result that you want is in fact going to happen. And you just need to be able to stick with it through the building process, because you're always regardless of what your dream is, you're going to reach your dream. If you continue pursuing the endeavor, you're going to achieve the dream that you have. So you need to, instead of thinking, I'm going to be successful next month. I'm going to reach this goal next month. Make it bigger. You need to raise your standards for your goals. You need to raise your standards for yourself. You need to raise your standards for your beliefs. You need to be able to have a humongous goal and chase that. And then with all the little milestones along the way, you see the growth. You need to be able to break it down smaller than just, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to have a six-pack. It needs to be cut down into milestones so you can see and enjoy the fact that you're actually getting progress. So if you're in a business, instead of thinking, oh, we're going to be a multi-million-dollar business by the end of the year, no. Think about it like, let's get our first sale. Then after the first sale, okay, let's have a month where we break 5,000 in sales, then a year that breaks 50,000, and so on and so forth, because those small milestones will make it more realistic to you. You'll actually see the growth. So if you're trying to build a social media platform, instead of saying, oh, well, I want to monetize and I want to have 1 million followers, why don't you get a little more incremental? Instead of that, how about my videos are going to get more likes, 5, 10 more likes on average. My videos are going to get 5, 10 more shares on average. I'm going to gain a subscriber or 2 every week, and kind of build from there where you can see these milestones happening and you can see the results in front of you so that you know you're on the right path. So you know you're actually pursuing the goal that you want, because the goal you have should be humongous. The goal that you have should never be a realistic goal. The end goal should always be extraordinary. Because say that you knew for a fact, right, that you couldn't fail in whatever endeavor that you choose to pursue. You could not fail. Your goal would be a lot larger. Your goal would be a whole lot larger, and you'd be willing to put in the work because you know that the work is going towards the end result that you want. And the funny thing is, if you put in the work and you put in the time, you will 100% achieve the goal that you want, no matter what. But the problem is, not many people want to put in the time. Not many people want to put in that effort. People would rather have a goal and work towards it for a few weeks, a few months, and then give up. And that's just not how that works. You need to be able to put in the time and have the patience to pursue the dreams that you have. Because let's say that you couldn't fail no matter what you did. Whatever goal it is that you have, you could not possibly fail. Well, then what would you do? What would you do to achieve that goal? Let's say that your goal is to, I don't know, let's say your goal is to get a six-pack, right? Let's go into the fitness with it. Your goal is to have a six-pack, and you knew for a fact that you would achieve that six-pack. Well, then you would probably be going to the gym because you know that your efforts are going to end up getting you that six-pack. You would diet knowing full well that that's going to get you to that six-pack. You're not going to just sit on the couch doing nothing. You're going to be motivated to pursue the goal because you know it's going to happen. The same thing applies with anything that you're doing. If you're trying to grow a social media presence and your goal is to be, verified without paying, then you know that you're going to have to post content all the time. And you know that you're going to have engagement. So if you're doing something like that, then you're going to be posting more. You're going to be conscious of what you're posting. You're going to be posting at the better times that the algorithm says to post. You're going to be looking into all of these things because you are going to be building towards a goal that you know you're going to achieve. So when people are just sitting there trying to get that end result so bad, well, yeah, obviously you want to get the end result, but you can't be laser focused on the end results. You need to be laser focused on the next milestone. What's the next thing that I can do to increase my productivity, increase my engagement, increase the money coming in, my sales? What is the very next step? And then laser focus in on that each time. And then you will be achieving the goal that you want without having to feel like your efforts are fruitless. You need to be able to see the bigger picture where it is you're building something and you're going to achieve that something, right? So I saw something online, and the podcaster, I believe that it was talking about mortality, which is it's not a comfortable conversation to have with most people, and it's not a comfortable conversation to hear about. But nonetheless, the way that he broke down this concept, to me, it kind of puts everything into perspective, where you wouldn't act the same way you do if you knew you were going to die. So the way that he words it is, everybody is headed in the same direction. Whether you are white, black, gay, straight, rich, or poor, everybody is headed in the same direction. We're all gonna die. And that sounds extremely morbid, because you're talking about death. Obviously, no one likes to talk about that. But if you knew that on your way home tonight, you were not going to make it home, you were going to get into a horrendous car accident that killed you. If you knew that, then who would you call? Who would you text? What would you do, right? Because people really don't understand the concept of mortality. We don't, as people, really sit and think about how our time on this earth is so finite. So with that being said, right, if you knew that once you get in your car, that drive home was going to be the last drive you take, who would you text or call, right? There are probably people in your phone right now that you haven't called or texted, but you should have. Maybe it's your mother, your father, your siblings, your relatives, friends, coworkers, anybody, business partners, anything. There are probably people in your phone right now that you've meant to get to texting or calling, and you've just said, oh, I'll do it another time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Well, if you knew that death was right around the corner, you wouldn't be putting off anything. And with that being said, you need to treat your dreams and aspirations the same way. If you knew that you were going to die, you would wish that you started pursuing this endeavor. You'd wish that you started things sooner. You'd wish that you put in the time and the effort to actually get these things done, knowing damn well that you can achieve these goals if you put the effort through, which you unfortunately are not doing right now. So if you think about it in those terms, where you are going to die tonight, are you happy with what you've done with your time here on earth? Most people would say no to that. And if that's you, then you have to reevaluate your work ethic. You have to reevaluate your priorities. You need to reach out to the people that you aren't talking to, reach out to family, friends, and all of that. But you also have to understand that your time on this earth is in fact finite. So in order to get the most out of your time here on earth, you need to be chasing and pursuing goals, because what's left after you go is your legacy. And you will have no legacy if you don't pursue your goals. Your goals, once you achieve those goals, that is your legacy. Whether it's a business, or whether it's content on social media, or whether it's anything. Your legacy is the goal that you are chasing right now. And the fact that you aren't willing to put 100% effort into these goals because you have time, well, that's pretty ignorant. Because unfortunately, the reality of the situation is quite simply, you can die tonight on your ride home. You can die next week. You can die at any moment. People go too early all the time, and you're not exempt from that. So you need to think to yourself, am I putting forth the effort that I need to actually achieve the goals that I'm saying I want to do. Because the last thing that you want is when you're right at the last second of your life and you have that flashback and you see all the times that you were just chilling instead of working on your goals, or all the times that instead of pursuing your dreams or researching or studying, you were having a drink instead at home watching TV. You need to do more with your life. You're here on earth for only so long. And the time that you're here on earth needs to be productive. It needs to be worth something. You need to have a story to tell at the end of it all. When your life does flash before your eyes, before you go, you want to have something that you actually enjoy watching. That last reel of your life. You want it to be something where you look at it, you sit and think, and you're like, yeah, I did it right. I have no regrets. That's how you want to live your life. You want to be able to have no regrets in anything. And just because there's obstacles in your way, just because things slow down, just because you're not getting to where you want to be as fast as you'd like to be there, that doesn't mean you shouldn't continue pursuing your goals. And I wanted to finish today's episode off with a quote from Matthew McConaughey. He speaks about the same sentiment, the obstacles throughout life and the problems that people encounter when pursuing dreams, goals, or really just living their day-to-day life. Maybe they can't pay their bills. And it's all part of this dance that we call life. It's all part of life, all of these things. And the quote goes like this: if life was all green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that made us pause, hardships, crises, introspection, then what would it all be for? Because without those yellows and reds, without things stopping us, slowing us down, without things that make us think, without problems occurring, then we would just have an easy life of really no learning, no growth, no introspection. And then what would this all be for? Without the problems, you'd never enjoy the good times as much. Without the shit times, you wouldn't enjoy the good times. It's the yin and the yang. You need the bad to enjoy the good. You need the hardships to enjoy the times when you have the money, when you have it all. You need both. So when you're pursuing your goals, your obstacles, and something really bad happens, you can't sit there and just grovel in your self-pity. You need to understand that it's all that it is a tiny obstacle that you will get over eventually. You might be negative in your bank account right now and you don't know how you're going to pay your next bill. But you're going to get paid again. You're going to make more money. You're going to get yourself out of this because you've done it a million times in the past. There's nobody listening to this video right now that hasn't gone through some absolutely terrible, life-altering shit and came out the other end positive. There's not one person who hasn't gone through that. Everybody in life goes through absolutely terrible shit. Your ex cheated on you. Your bank account's negative. You just got fired. You just lost your car. You just were evicted. Everybody goes through hard shit. And there's people going through harder shit than you. And they know that they're going to get out on the other side. And you need to understand that same thing. Don't stop chasing your goals just because you've reached an obstacle. Don't stop chasing your goals because it seems unattainable. All of your goals are absolutely attainable with the right amount of work, with the right amount of effort. You need to focus on your goals, understand how to reach your goals by breaking them down into just small milestone markers, and then watch the growth happen. Watch the success happen. And then inevitably, within the next few years, 5, 10 years, you're going to be exactly where it is that you want to be. And you're going to look back and be glad that you went through the bullshit that you went through, because it made you into the person that's able to be successful now. It molded you into the person that you are in order to be successful. I want to thank you guys for watching today. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or comment on the video. I'd like for you guys to subscribe and like the video. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll see you guys next time.